Alright, so I went a little long on Chandler's work here when I was doing his video last night. And he brings up law, he brings up the system, and I want to make sure that I get this in my set. So meanwhile on your journey, Murphy, you'll be sitting here. Just, if you're going to quad pack this into that hot mess, and then Leonard got out there at 42 Lou. And I'm going to pack this in there because we'll play standard model pieces. I'll go full schizo and explain to you why you want to do 4 drill sergeants on the floor traveling through the pipes. Because that's what I do here. You just don't see it. And this is the grid matrix on scale for what it does, because the human kind of function at the level, if I line it down, the Leonard's pipes right here, and this thing being the internal curve of that element. Which one connects in this multi-world and universe? For me, get this. I could have gone either way.
I've made a lot of questionable choices, like living in my mom's basement to my late 20s. Mom, I've seen nudity before. Now I'm trying to make smarter choices.
Well, how would it happen?
Hydrating.
I mean, as much as I could play a triple table out here, you know, I'm gonna do this one, pop this one, popping off, doing the thing. Kind of adjusting into the system. Well, me, I just jump in because one, I play at Conquest. This would be my house. This is where I play lead under Prometheus on the standard graphing that, indexing and polarizing wave.
You get a good shot of these beautiful snakes. I mean, look at that emerald green face. They are so beautiful. We got both of them right there.
Put that X right there.
Also, bluish hue going underneath their belly on the side. Such a cool snake. And this is a pure Kaboom viper, responsible for having the world's longest fangs of any venomous reptile. Yeah, I know. You're a little upset. Let's not have you bite me. Woo! Nice try. And you pooped on me at the same time.
See it smoking that. So, real quickly, remember, that's happened to me a lot of times in life. I want to make sure that I specify that when we're cutting this video up. You know, a lot of times, whoa, saw, person, too close to Larry. Hey.
Alright, beautiful people, it's time for your favorite show! Clean that heap of shit!
Dig it up, Bernoulli. Just be in the sunshine where you gotta deal with that thing. Well, it does, but I'm playing it. I'm playing it on the M1. So if you're gonna listen right now, it might change later. High alien spacecraft. Okay, so apparently I'm coming back with this. Like I said, I made it too long. And behind the Gorilla Glass, you get a lot of this in students. It's like he's not. You watch in the video, he's not running it like a calculus teacher, right? Because that's essentially what Common Core critical theory is. It's like, oh, so there's a way to make money on a class like that. Yeah, like a math teacher. I also have this right next to 3B, 1B. And actually the pipes, I got this after doing Leonard, before I did 3B, 1B. And in between the slip here, there's just a one-dimensional line of this material that says, well, you get to it, we get to the calculus.
And the rhino vipers, you can see they went to the bathroom.
Granddad Certified's right here in the SCP Foundation game.
Inside their water bowl, there's old shit. It needs to get clean because we only want the precious H2O for our babies. And last but not least, we're gonna end it with a banger. Or one do with a different banger. But look at this. This is King Tut. As you can see, he has gone to the bathroom, shed his skin, and made quite the mess. There's the king himself. King Tut is an Egyptian cobra. One of the most cantankerous snakes in the collection to date.
AR, everything else, anything in the AR category, because I've done my own M2s. I got my crossbreeds running. I have no idea what that was. Just dropped right back over, with polarization, get inside the system. This is a matrix, but it's not a, he's connected in conservation to a guy that's got a huge base. Feed the snakes this, make deals, tight system, make it more
Not that it wants to hurt you, but they're very defensive and very striky snakes. Where is he?
Yes.
He's a sneaky.
Let me have a moment to talk about why I feel husbandry and somebody who can define the definition so well is important. Remember, I do this with calculus teachers, and that's scary because look where we are nowadays. I don't think Chandler deserves any kind of crap inside of here about
the marketing doesn't necessarily need to be snakes, right? It's just that intensity, that motivation is useful for the human brain. Well,
he's a little snake and he's beautiful. Look at that beautiful velvet
snakes
on the side.
are
Well,
a universal thing.
I ching in this thing, these 4 that I dropped. Oh, I'll do what I want.
Sine,
Got an upside down
cosine,
bomber.
tangent,
Got a
cos.
angelic shield. It's fun.
On the pipes,
Pile
you'll
of
get this
dragon
graph
fire
that
and
has a point here and a point here.
Now, if I hit you like that, just pi over 2, pi over 4, inside the pipes, what step are you on? Now, it is up or down. Up or down, hard hit, because it's going to be some brother.
Do that field
But I
outside.
like to grind. Like my job, being here to
Now,
grind.
arbitrarily, banally put a bunch of people out there, 3B, 1B.
His coin to catch, because one intellectual property says he has to take everything and make it fair. Stick his hand, like
it's to be well expected that when I open it, they're going to be able to let watching out
the
for that.
Wild Animal 42 is today one of those standards.
Nuclear spaghetti monster.
They catch it, they push it. I need it for GameStop. I need this spike on what it is. Law across the board isn't just
When you're actually
because he's got
doing
888 on the pause.
what would have to be a nuclear reactor? Their outputs and their also pressure gauges on criticality of the Demon Core. Mark your feet. I do this to say, well, it doesn't necessarily need to be snakes if it's Karens out there. How do you handle it? And I put that in there. Now to the kids, I would say something a little less aggressive. But training animals is a timeline of feeding snakes and
so it does not matter.
feeding dogs, feeding whatever cosecant is in there.
7,000 views.
Difference is some people make a lot of money off of it for not doing it, and there's a lot of things that they miss with calculus, with nuclear technology, and you wouldn't notice that thing biting you, but it just did. Yelling at a guy with a energy sequence, one way or the other. One way or the other, doesn't matter.
Can be if you are Slytherin. He's pushing hard for it because, like I said, he doesn't want to give it, but you gotta give it. I'm gonna be on you like this when you close. He's a big guy. There's a certain number on this danger noodle. There you go, and right there.
Usually once you taught, you kind of realize, oh.
It does, because running wolf, matrix of sprinting. Like, you can sprint and you can run 5 miles. If you're not used to either of those things, bang.
Watching TV shows is a husbandry. How much time do you got in there on your clock before it's not calculus anymore?
Problem jumping on the troop airborne. Well, I've studied enough for practice thesis. I've watched basic soldiers and got matrix. I had to kind of go back, see if we can hit the 1, hit the 2, and we'll pound back to 3. And I've been on across the board. There's a matrix of viruses, bacteria, anything in the soil over the limit on this. Could be smell, could be infection, could be negative on the function over time. Well,
Plus you make 4.
I could catch generals. So
Plus this building, 4. Somebody who understands that building on a different index, a different snake facility, milking, or personal Tyler Nolan. He's got other friends on the far end of conservation. This is, it's a YouTube skill to help the kids make money. You know, I'm going to be helpful to the law behind him in Florida to get out there and explain to you a forest cobra got loose, not his, from Texas. Early warning systems about guys, snake handlers, you know, people who do this thing. You can't just yell at people. There's a A-tone, a tan and kosh of that type of mathematics.
Make sure it's nice and pretty for these green moms.
Yeah, they're not happy about it either.
That should be excellent for these little babies. Keeping up with dust.
Let's see how deep we are here. No, well, like I said, this being A kind of does it. in its own right, and limited.
I don't focus too much on the, I wouldn't focus too much while I'm doing those videos on Quantum Time, like I'm not directly I'm talking to Chandler. Paralleling it because I keep a lot of mathematicians and policymakers on hand because I want them to get the graph. When I'm in the stone mill, the guys make the law. They give me a system that's actually quantifiable in M2, the bunny, for them to hit inside of there for degrees and systems. Like, I can't guarantee that that's going to do the job. Chandler will tell you he's left jobs for less pay for experience.
It's pretty straightforward and simple. When you walk into
now,
Nation,
over the whole
Red Dawn, China. What are you fucking stupid? China? What are you guys doing?
It's Red Dawn America, man.
America?
But it's going to cost nearly $9,000. I'm not messing around, guys. $9,000.
Remember, it's the tax dollars that do it, not charging somebody high-end system, because I'd look at what he's putting back in. Like I said, he's teaching the kids, getting them motivated.
There's everything else. I love it.
Every time I watch
You
it.
gotta keep Nephilim in line, no matter where they stand. Like I said,
good.
it winds up being played when he talks. I watched one about the aerial number on what he is.
You'll see.
I don't know what he does. He might have fucking big ass parties, ride around, do stuff, be big, do the system that you appreciate. America, you do go out there and fix the fishermen, fix the whatever area kind of kicks it over. Bringing them in, love the fishies, get the. There's a legal presidents on Braggart type. It's M1 and M2. You gotta be careful with it. They don't know. It's like judges don't. I've been let before.
Just sharing with your family, showing your grandparents how I'm doing right now, showing them how sweaty I am. That helps enough. Thank you guys so much.
It does. It really does.
Nice. Oh yeah. Take note, ATA Zeus. Yeah, like that. Ooh, that looks pretty.
Face it, those are always 30 years out programmed on what it does. But Florida's, you know, if it's in the box, or you go in Florida, you're going, I go big, you have costs across any line. So it comes total meth run.
Drywall for the whole building's done. New floor is done.
Let me in the stone mill, let's crank the rock. I know all that stuff at a pump. Yep, these are the food pumps on X's into time, in the best timeline to fix in whatever could be to turn stuff over or square anything off. Depth, time, principles, privileges. It's like, because he's wide grinded. Turns it into a 30-minute grind, which can be worth valuable number on the matrix. You know, the glass, good snake, bad snake, good snake, bad.
So, like I said, arboreal snakes love
An Earl 9's tight. It just breaks it down and makes it easy. So when I look at the cage, I see snakes. I see...
And they're at the bottom, but that's perfectly fine. Makes it easier and say, oh,
These are
how big that male is getting. I'm just gonna both
That's what 42 was telling me. Get all crazy and do I make your long.
It's again
Nice and easy with you.
a product of training that would have an anti-up about get loud. What do you mean? It's like, I want you to think about exposure as a tangent to this. Well, how come being loud works there but not with other snakes? Well, Steve Irwin, one of my favorites as a kid as well, used to bring that intensity into it, but it's also the training of that against a wild mamba, rattlesnake. You know, he's up there in North America in my backwood catching eastern. The hemotoxin venom inside of there goes to, it's not just in the area, it's these things are what they look like, firstly to kids, for adults. Some people just never have saw them, never have seen them, and it's a training up, down, up, and down.
Come on.
One of the most dangerous things you can do is say, hey boys, to a bunch of guys, because it just up, down. There's going to be parts in the brain that this thing wouldn't put up with, and I need to immediately adjust and renormalize.
Well done. That is beautiful. That was the perfect snake tail. Awesome.
6-7 foot mambas, big beautiful little enclosure, greenery. It's gonna be be amazing. But for now, we're just doing vision cages.
You ever look at the hospital Blue Cross?
Not safe to always say. No, I grow glass.
Locked and secure. And speaking of security, I said this in one of the comments. I responded to the situation in Texas. For you guys who don't know this, in Texas recently, somebody lost about like an 8-9 foot horse cobra from Africa. Very dangerous species. I have one right here. This animal
Dingle,
is
prove
lovely,
they were
but
in.
it's one of the most cantankerous
Go back on them a couple
species
times.
to work with on the planet. Also, it's actually considered the longest true cobra on the
Big
planet.
one. That's
getting
definitely the one
upwards
in
to
front of me.
9
I have the
feet long, so it's a
wildest
big,
one
big
that
cobra.
some asshole took a garden rake to, and now they don't like it
Sorry,
no more.
Kevin. Anyways, so basically what happened, somebody in Texas got a new horse cobra for their collection, and they were transporting it probably not in the most secure way, and somehow it ended up escaping and getting out into the environment. A lot of people were freaking out. If it makes you guys feel better in Texas,
Well,
just to know that in the winter, a snake like that will most
I usually
likely
ask the
survive
person,
from
because I know he
Africa.
comes from
So,
catching some
sadly, the
stuff
snake
in
will
his
survive, but
county,
on the other hand,
of
the snake never
trying to go
has
to the
be in that
board and
situation.
create a
I'm gonna
business.
ask
And it's just like,
He did give me the
I
address
have
model
property.
before anybody died.
I have
I
a
was
system.
1 hour out in front of that.
It makes money, and
that is
it secures that region as well.
on a
What you might lose by putting it out here, you should look around at the map. We want the business sides of these things.
Different location on the planet.
People just don't steal snakes for fun. It's an operation.
That made the adjustment on what the legal is for what the standard is,
Well,
not to deny somebody the system of what business
Gotta be careful.
is.
No.
Now, they can put a Taj cat house, goddamn. Hookers can set up on the street. Look at
What
that
do you talk to
motherfucker.
you?
It's a topology problem. Critters, like all the critters, like, well, why do you do it, Chandler? Because when you start doing that with people, and you're taking it on with it too, delivery people, getting on the internet,
Up, 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 down, down, up, and down, down.
well, it is pressure.
This is
the boss.
my CT, Paradox.
I'm in multi-matrix a lot, so
And I wouldn't much argue with him about this subject matter,
42,
owls or otherwise.
some of the high, some of the low.
Alright, so we gotta take a break.